statement. Good morning. Due to the pandemic, all members of the Downtown Winston-Salem Business Improvement District Advisory Committee are participating virtually. For virtual meetings, committee members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they will be recognized and will be unmuted. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. A committee member will be recognized and will raise their hand and verbally state their vote. Today's meeting is a public meeting. Per the notice posted, citizens can listen to the meeting if they contacted city staff to make the necessary arrangements. This meeting can be accessed by the City of Winston-Salem's YouTube page. So I will go on and take a roll call. We don't have a quorum right now for approval of minutes. So if someone else joins us, we can approve the minutes. And if not, we will carry them over to our next meeting. So for roll call, Tony Brett.
Present.
Kelly Brown. Mike Cashin.
Present.
Chad Cheek.
Present.
Rodney Davis. Lauren Desai. Vivian Joyner. Shannon Meyer.
Present.
And Charles Wilson. All right. So for city staff report, it's been a while since we've met. The budget was approved as an email that was sent out to you all noted. It was approved in June by City Council as part of the regular budget. And so we're moving forward there. As far as the major kind of city project going on downtown, the 1st and 2nd Street conversion, as well as the Liberty Main conversion, city staff provided an update to our Public Works Committee this past month on that specific project. They've noted that we've learned a lot of things from the first portion of that project, which was the 1st and 2nd Street conversion, and that material supply has been difficult. And so staff has started kind of working on the Liberty Main process as well, so that once Duke Energy gets to that side with the pole conversions, we'll already have the materials and it won't cause another kind of hiccup or delay within that project. They can keep moving forward. So that's kind of where we stand there. We had, yes.
The 1st and 2nd Street conversion. So is that already open for two-way travel? It's
not quite yet. Right now, 1st Street is a mess in that it has, they've milled it, and so they're very much in the process, hopefully, of getting there to pave it eventually. But last week they actually milled 1st Street, and so that's kind of where we stand for now.
Okay. Anticipated date, or do we have one?
They're hopeful by winter. So obviously before the asphalt companies close, they're hoping to have that all in place. Council has approved, I think, a new stoplight off of Salem Parkway onto Main Street as part of that portion of conversion. But hopefully once 1st and 2nd Street, once all the poles, I think they're very close to finishing the poles on 1st Street for sure. So hopefully that will help that transition on 1st Street, and they can move to 2nd, followed by Liberty Main.
Okay, thank you for the additional info.
Yeah. Any other questions on that project? Okay. The city also hosted the National Black Theater Festival, the first time we've hosted that since the pandemic. From everything I've heard, the festival went off really well. Everyone was pleased with downtown. I know Jason had played a big part with the city as far as the clean team and making sure downtown was really pristine and good to go for the festival. And we received a lot of good, positive feedback from the festival. So I just wanted to give you all that update as well. I think that's all I have for one other thing for the update. I know in April, we kind of had a very extensive discussion or preliminary discussion on the expansion of the bid district, potentially looking up north of MLK. The city attorney did get back to me and noted that it is possible it would require council approval. And we're checking on, there's some language related to the new area's aggregate external boundary, and how much of that would need to be next to the new area. And so we're trying to get all that. So we can also extend the boundaries of the bid if we receive a petition signed by 100% of the real property owners of the area to be added. So we're kind of looking at all that, working on how to go about that. And Jason and I will continue conversations for that and keep you all up to date when we have more information.
So can I ask
Meredith, a question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You go ahead, Chad, and then I'll ask.
I was just
mine.
going to ask. So when you say north of MLK, that would be the block that has like Ramcat and where the apartments are and Wiseman, that sort of thing, going in that direction.
Yes, sir.
So right now, the bid district ends at MLK. Is that what I understand? I'm sorry if I don't know that.
No, you're fine. It does. It kind of, I believe it jumps up. I should have had a map prepared. It does jump up, I think, and grab Wiseman as part of the entertainment district.
Okay.
But it doesn't grab the apartments or anything beyond,
okay.
I think, radar. And
Okay.
Jason may be able to correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
show you a map if you let me share.
You should be good to go, Jason.
Okay, I'll do that. I know this is not zoomed in, but I'll zoom in a little bit here. And you can see, hopefully on your screen, Martin Luther King runs right here. So we have like the Truliant branch and the Little Island, and then the what used to be Ziggy's and Ramcat, and the Wiseman Brewing on this site. But the apartments and some of the other developments around it are not included. So the idea that I've had, obviously, is that I think that the residents up there are going to be seeing some trash that they'd like picked up. So I think including that in the area would be one area where expansion might be reasonable. And I'd asked some experts from across the state about the bid expansion. And I'm going to share with you a little graphic that I got that was very helpful to me. And I'm going to share the screen. Can you see it actually?
No, I think you have to unshare
Okay.
and then reshare.
All right, I'll do that. Stop share, and then I'm going to share again because I got a little thanks for your patience, everybody. I'm almost
While
there.
you're doing that, are you also thinking that it would include like the block where the Winston Cup Museum is and Mixer and that sort of thing? Because it looks like that's not included currently.
It's not, and I think that's exactly what we would look to do. And there should be an email on my screen. Can you see it?
No, we see the nightclub shooting news.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know if that's what you're trying to show.
No. Just give me one more chance.
So
You know,
while you're-
Mike can attest to the fact that I haven't had the best track record with my Zoom lately. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Shannon, I
So-
didn't mean to interrupt you. So.
No, that's no problem. I was just going to ask, so I saw that Innovation Quarter Bailey Park is excluded. Is that because they have their own North District Association?
Yes.
Or,
Yes,
okay.
they do.
So when I looked at, there was, if you looked at the statutes, and it's the highlighted area in yellow here, is that the area to be annexed is contiguous to the district with at least 1/8 of the area's aggregate external boundary coincident with the existing boundary of the district. And so I read that, and I have to tell you, that is some really good legalese. And that's some of the best I've seen in a while. So Tony, I know you're looking at it, and Mike, you're looking at it. And so essentially what I got from that is I talked to one of my really good buddies who's the very plugged in as a consultant in the area. And this little box dimension shows us kind of what that really means, is that it has to have at least 1/8 of the area here as one option to expanding the district and a council vote. Or you can create a bid district of any size as long as there's 100% agreement of the property owners within the district to be expanded. So in essence, what you do is you take the entire circumference of the bid, and then you need to have an intersection with the new area of at least 1/8 of the exterior circumference, if you will, or contiguity.
Mhm.
So it sounds like what you're saying is 1/8 of the new section, external boundary, has to be contiguous. So
Or
that's just the boundary, not the area. We're not talking about the area.
that's correct.
Correct. That's correct.
All right. Just the boundary. All right. And
Something to note.
Yeah. What happens if we have two sections? Because let's say we take the apartments and I guess, the Winston Cup Museum and Mixer that aren't necessarily contiguous to each other.
It says multiple areas would have to qualify separately.
Okay.
But if it's all contiguous, though, you could just it has to be at least 1/8. So if it's larger, I think that would be okay, right? It isn't that it has to be exactly 1/8.
That's right.
It depends on how you draw the line, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's a good visual.
So is the building across the street on 9th Street, that is not included, right? Let
me show you. Let me unshare this map, and I'll show you guys the map again.
Perfect.
Okay, it looks like it's not. With Earl's and
Correct.
those. Yeah, okay. I don't know what we call that building, but so if we added that, it would all be contiguous, theoretically.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, that building is Winston Junction, right? Isn't that what we call that?
It is.
Winston Junction.
Thank you.
And the other way,
I can see it. I have a big sign that says Winston Junction out my window. That's why that's how I know what it's called.
Paul's checking out the situation for us.
And the other way to do it is to get 100% approval from the property owners getting expanded. So you've got two options technically.
Mm-hmm.
So you could add just the apartments if they wanted to be added. But
has there been any discussion with those, or do we know?
That's Drew and Hank, right? Isn't that Drew and Hank, Jason?
Yes, I've had preliminary discussions with Drew and Hank, and they didn't say yes and they didn't say no. And I think that there's been no discussion with Porter Jones, but he typically sells it to the buildings. By and large, what you're going to see is there's going to be the awkward time when there's going to be trash, and I'm going to have to tell them we don't go over there, and they'll be like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well." Mm-hmm. So we've had that problem with the Link Apartments over in Innovation Quarter, and that's also an issue. That's not in the bid district. I'm not sure that's in the bid district for the other area either. That might be an area for expansion too.
We should look at that.
We have had issues over at the Innovation Quarter Link Apartments, primarily along Chestnut Street and the train tracks. Seems to be a bad area for us.
Yeah, it is. And you've got just the trees and everything in the wind, and then just humans throwing trash. It just seems to be like a net picking up the trash.
Yes, it does.
But my executive committee told me to take a good look at this information and to come up with some recommendations. And so, that would obviously impact the bid committee just as much, if not more, than the my board. But those are topics of conversation.
So, obviously it takes money for you guys to do what you have to do. So approximately what is the cost to the business owners or property owners to be a part of the bid area?
So right now the taxable value is at 9 cents. And so if you have $100,000 of taxable value, it's $90 a year. And so just do the multiplication from that. So
Okay.
$1 million would be 900.
Okay.
And it gets included in the overall tax bill that's sent out every year. So oftentimes, it's de minimis compared. I say de minimis, it's about 7.5% of the total city and county tax bill. At least it was in 2014.
Okay.
And that rate, this committee could recommend a rate change at some point if they so chose, which would impact everyone within the district. But my understanding, I believe it's always been 9 cents since the bid was created.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct, Ms. Martin.
So it's 9 cents per what?
$100 of value.
$100. Okay.
9 mils, I guess, is the way that it's properly said.
So I asked that question, Jason, because with Link Innovation Quarter Apartments also having the retail storefronts, there could be a possibility they would be interested in being a part of the bid district.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would need to check on for consideration is whether or not it's included in the Innovation Quarter bid or not.
Yeah, I know we pay dues to the North District Association, but I don't know about the Innovation Quarter District.
Yeah, it may be that it's in the North District, and if it is, I don't think it can be a part of 2 different bids.
Okay, well, we can talk more about it offline if you have a chance to look into that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you.
I think Meredith could help me by getting the boundary of that other bid, though. Because, we don't want to interrupt their, operations, and we want to be transparent with them about it. But it's, there are some unmet needs and services that are kind of in a no man's land between the two, potentially.
Yes, I hear all about those.
Right.
Jason, what is the timing in terms of figuring this out? What additions might be made?
There's some statute about that, and that's in essence, it has to be approved by the board, by the city council, in essence, according to what we talked about by state statute, and it has to be done by a certain amount of time with public notice and public hearings. And then it would be implemented the first day of the following fiscal year if it were done in time. If it didn't, they'd have to do it the next fiscal year and wait a whole year.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But I think, you're talking about, if I remember correctly, like you have to have this approved by man, I shouldn't answer that if I don't know the answer, but I know it was way ahead of the fiscal year time ending, like March. I remember just always going over calendars in the back of my head. Just creating the bid was really something else, I have to say. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever been a part of.
Well, you'll know the answer to this one because I think I know, but I'm not sure. And the fiscal year is July 1, June 30?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So Jason and I will keep exploring that and hopefully bring some more updates the next time we meet. We'll try to get a better handle of the timeline if it's something we definitely want to explore and go from there. So
Thank you both for your work on that.
yeah. Jason, do you want to provide the committee with your updates?
Yes, I'm going to share the screen again.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully you see a full year 21-22 annual report. Do you guys see that? Just a white screen with black text?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So in essence, what I'm going to show you is the content of the annual report. We'll be doing a more visually stimulating document that you've seen, and I'll present that to you. But this is the content of the annual report, and the budget actuals show that we spent all but $16,000 in the fiscal year, which will go through audit and return that to Meredith and the city, and that kind of reconciles with what they had come up with so far. So we're going through the end stage of audit, which we started last week, and they'll be presenting our audit to the city for their review. And if you look at the budget categories, we stayed in budget on all categories. You know, we did that, you know, it was a low fiscal year, and we definitely tried to be as flat on spending as we could. We did have generally a very busy year with bags of litter and trash. These are the performance indicators that are required to report. These are the bedrock of the things that we do. One of the things that we are very proud of is graffiti removal. And that's something that we spend a lot of time doing. And right now we're in the, as I've mentioned many times, the seasons of downtown. We're in the watering of plant season. And after the watering of the plant season comes leaf season, and then snow season, and then pollen season, and then back to watering the plant season. And it just kind of goes around in a circle. And people laugh when I say pollen, but they haven't seen the amount of pollen that, you know, you guys see it every day because you get in your car every day, but it stacks up in downtown in places. So we'll be including these numbers and performance indicators, and these are on track with what we've seen in previous years as we stabilize towards workloads. What we also track and benchmark is social media statistics and website traffic. One of the things that's really cool is that we had a huge increase with the pandemic of on-site online website traffic, and 111% increase with 463,000 page views, which to me, I think related to more people spending time online. And I'm sure that must be something that's across the board with folks. But some of the things that people really were interested in was our summer music series last year. So we had a lot of traffic there. Social media statistics. You see the two platforms, Facebook and Twitter, which used to be dominant. We're still very strong in with a large amount of followers. Twitter is really become probably our least effective tool for communication, while Instagram's probably become our most effective after Facebook. Facebook is very important to all demographics. Instagram is, does tend to tend to lean towards the younger generation. And we have great followers, 25,000 followers. I echoed there for a second. We've been doing some fun things this year. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see some of the trash can wraps, but this is a cheap, I say cheap, but relatively inexpensive way to dress up a can, which, really is kind of just something that we thought, like, so it says toss your worries here. And that's just some of the things that we've been doing. We also took this window in front of the cycling center, which has become outdated. And, the 2017, it just didn't have a good look for us in downtown. It showed, and we were able to put up this here, which I thought was kind of cool compared to what it was like before. We prefer to have the building occupied, but we enjoy doing these window wraps. We're going to be having a public drop-in session for the Business Improvement District on September 14th. We do this annually to get feedback. These are drop-in sessions that we'll have from 4 to 6:30 so that we can get both anybody that can participate before and after work. We have a big block party coming up on September 3rd in front of Foothills, which is a location that we don't use very often because it's hard to close 4th Street. But this is an event that will be taking place on Saturday, September 3rd. And this is the brilliant design that we have here for the block party. The events this year have been going fantastic. We've had really great crowds. This is Summer on Liberty. Love to see people dancing. The picture of this is when West End Mambo was playing, which largely plays salsa, Latina, and Caribbean music. And the diversity of the crowd is just indicative of all of our events. And this is a downtown jazz photo, and it was taken by our good friend Bobby Roebuck, who's a really wonderful photographer who loves to come to our events. And I just thought the vibrancy of this photo was worth sharing with you, that we're involved in good things. I think this will show up on our annual report. But I think it's one of the things that when we talk to council members and other folks is that I feel that the word that we came up with recently in a conversation for the planning committee was being intentionally inclusive and bringing all audience, all ages, all races to downtown. I wanted to just be brief with the presentation. So there's a lot more pictures of before and after graffiti and power washing and other things that just in the interest of time, I didn't show you, but we'll include at future dates. But we've had a very busy year this year, and we did have a lot to do with the National Black Theater Festival, including putting up banners, getting the flower beds on 4th Street looking fantastic. We have had issues with some of our equipment with watering and been working through that and updating a lot of our online maps with the restaurants. One of the things that we've been working on is just keeping all of our data up to date. And if it's okay with you guys, I'll just answer questions or any thoughts.
Well, I have one. I used to know the answer and I forgot it. What's the difference between a backpack hour and a billy goat hour?
So the billy goat is a push behind kind of lawnmower type of equipment that sucks up and has a huge vacuum and is really good like at the curb line or picking up trash. And then the backpack is just a blower, like your backpack blower. And so oftentimes they'll use the two things in tandem. But the backpack is often used in leaf season, and then they'll use the billy goat can pick up leaves or trash, but it's just a big suction item that, and it's like a huge industrial sized vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Pretty cool piece of machinery for our purposes. Well, that's my report, Ms. Martin.
Perfect. Any questions or comments from the committee? All right. Well, I hope you all have a great week. I appreciate taking the time to meet today. and let Jason or myself know if we can help with anything.
Thank
Sounds
you.
great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you
See
all.
you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.